Thank you. I'm sure they are. I think they're rooting for me back there in Chicago, or a lot of them are out here tonight in the stands. But we're just very pleased to be here. It's very exciting to be in the Illinois Final 8, Final 4, and now to be here. Now to be here in the final game, right? It's just a great honor, a lot of fun.
I know it's tough on a coach, but you have to be looking forward to the collision of the two big kids out here tonight.
Yeah, well, we like to play a team game. Everybody's going to get in the game as far as we're concerned, all 5 players, but certainly the matchup between Horton and Melvin McCants is what everybody's looking for here tonight, so we hope they give them a good one.
And I would imagine it's going to depend a lot on the whistle out there.
On the whistle, yeah.
They both want to stay out of foul trouble.
The officials tonight, we had them last night, and they're pretty much, they call pretty tight. And so there may be quite a few fouls called, and we'll have to take a look at that. And we just hope to minimize our fouls and maybe get some on them.
Ed, thank you so much. Congratulations. Best wishes to you.
Thank you very much.
Ed McQuillan, the skipper of the Caravan from Mount Carmel High School in Chicago, and one of your network sponsors, Country Companies Insurance. Construction in the state of Illinois. Ted, great to have you here.
It's my pleasure to be here. I'm excited about this, yeah.
What do you think of this wild scene down here in the Assembly Hall?
Spectacular. Yeah, just couldn't be more excited about it. Basketball, of course, is my sport, and this has got to be the finest of American basketball, and it's good to be in Illinois and watching it.
Ted, in your position, I would imagine you have some definite thoughts on the importance of interscholastic activities in our school systems.
Most assuredly, I do. They come not probably more from my own experience than through my professional training and what have you, having played basketball in high school and college in Texas and knowing what it contributes to the individual that you can carry through life. I think interscholastic sports are mighty important activities in our schools.
Well, you think of the number of youngsters involved in this tournament, the teams, the managers, the bands, the cheerleaders, and the fans. It becomes a real family affair based on the schools.
That's right. You bet.
Ted, I assume this is probably the first time you've seen an Illinois State tournament, isn't it?
That's right. This is, well, I was here last week for the other division, but this is the first year, of course.
I'm always amazed at the size of these schools anymore, physically, the size of the ball players anymore. I can remember when, I'm sure you can too, 6'3" was a big man.
That's right. When I was in high school playing, of course, I'm 6'8", there weren't any other kids around in Texas up in the region where I was playing that came close to being that size. It was only down in regional play and beyond that we began encountering kids that size, and now that's just even in the small schools, it's just very common.
You have those big tackles and guards and halfbacks down there.
Yeah, sure enough.
Ted, good to have you in Illinois. It's just wonderful to see you down here at the Assembly Hall, and the greatest success to you.
Thank you, thank you.
Ted Sanders, the new Superintendent of Public Instruction in the state of Illinois. Our guest, a pleasure to have Ted with us. And now back to the bench and Frank Massoni.
Thank you very much, Art. Mount Carmel's Caravan of the Chicago Catholic League warming up. They're in the brown and white. They came this way. They scraped by Leiden, I should say, in the Super. Then they ran past Hersey. Then they eliminated Cahokia, and that's not an easy way to get here. Neither is Springfield Lanphiers, as they started out turning away Bolingbrook, and then they had to go against Simeon, and they were the favorite coming into the tournament, Ron Nikovich. But here it is, Springfield, Lanphier, and Mount Carmel. It's Chicago against West Central Illinois, the capital against the population center.
And each team featuring a power center each of whom can do so many things: score, block shots, rebound, and lead. But I think the interesting thing about the matchups here is that probably for the first time, at least in my recent memory, that the respective starting lineups will have 3 sophomores.
That is amazing. And there's Melvin McCants, 6'8" and 225, who rang up 29 points and 17 rebounds in quite a show this afternoon.
He really played great, and of course demonstrated his great abilities to do so many things. And it's amazing the similarity between the 2 power centers.
He's put his game together at exactly the right time for Ed McQuillan and the Caravan, as they have flashed off 18 victories in a row. Look at the crowd, and they're starting to really get into the spirit of championship play and championship evening, and of course they will be screaming all night long.
They sure will.
The Lanphier Lions have now come onto the court at the Assembly Hall, and we're getting ready to meet the players and the coaches for this championship game in 1985 in Class AA. Let's go to the public address announcer. Here's Tom Trent.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the coaches and the players involved in our championship game this evening. First, for the Caravan of Mount Carmel High School in Chicago with a record of 27-4. The head coach at Mount Carmel High School, Ed McQuillan. Number 13, Tom Civic. Number 14, Kevin Maloney. Number 20, Jim Cleland. Number 25, Edward Murray. Number 32, Mark Dobbins. Number 41, Nick Mikatinis. Number 43, Ed McQuillan. Now let's meet the starting lineup for the Mount Carmel Caravan. At forward, a sophomore, 6'4", number 44, Derek Boyd.
6'4" and playing bigger, will shoot and rebound well.
At forward, a sophomore, 6 feet tall, number 50, Sam Smallwood.
A role player, albeit a strong one. Watch him both ways.
At center for the Caravan, a senior, 6'8", number 33, Melvin.
A powerhouse in the middle, averaging nearly 22 a game.
At a guard for Mount Carmel, a senior, 5'9", number 23, James Farr.
James Farr is one of the best guards in the state of Illinois.
And at guard, a junior, 5'10", number 22, Chris Calloway.
Calloway, a tough athlete, and the point.
And now let's meet the Lions of Lanphier High School in Springfield with a record of 29-3. The head coach at Lanphier High School, Robert Nika. Number 10, Mike Tapley. Number 20, Mark Newman. Number 21, Tom Melton. Number 22, Paul Hypus. Number 23, Willie Greer. Number 40, Brian Johnson. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the Lanphier Lions. At a forward, a sophomore, 6'2", number 30, William Horton.
He led up the Assembly Hall with 12 earlier this afternoon.
At a forward, a junior, 6'5", number 35, Kevin Samuels.
Samuels replaces Pipus, but he's no slouch at 6'5".
At center for the Lions, a senior, 6'8", number 24, Ed Harkin.
The leading candidate for Mr. Basketball in Illinois.
At a guard, a senior, 5'10", number 11, Pat McGuire.
A tough young man averaging nearly 10 a game.
And the other guard is a senior, 6'2", number 31, Wally Abdul-Rahim.
Moving from forward to guard in the championship game, Rahim at 14 a game.
The officials for this championship game are John Duncan of Martinville and Edward Schmidt of Peoria.
We'll have the tip-off in a moment. One of your network sponsors, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
What we've got here.
There are a couple couple of players out here that one of these days are going to be playing probably in an important college game, perhaps even a pro game, but this will be the most memorable game of their lives for all players involved, regardless of what happens in the future.
Horton, 6'8", 218. McCants, 6'8", 225, going against each other for the first time. The specimens are in the air in the silver. The Lanphier Lions start with the ball. Mount Carmel 2-3 zone. They're in the brown, trimmed in gold. Frank Bissoni, along with Art Kimball and Coach Ron Nikovich, sit back and enjoy the state championship game. Horton starts. His brother William and McCants this time.
An early confrontation.
We'll have to see if the ball handling of the Lions is affected. Paul Pipus, a regular starter, injured his ankle and is not in there. Farr is 23 outside. 22 is Callaway right there between the rings.
And Raheem is keying to McCants as he keyed earlier to Seidel in this afternoon's game.
It's a zone essentially with a shadow, Raheem, on McCants. A box and one, some people would call this. Smallwood is outside. We've played a minute and nothing. Smallwood won't shoot much. Cutting through is Farr. Ball is loose. That's Samuels, 35, starting his first game in the tournament.
Back to the 2-3 zone again.
McGuire at the point. He's 11. That's William Horton. He likes to shoot from there. Ed Horton inside. Missed. Ed Horton tips the rebound. Foul number 1 of the game on Ed Horton.
Call that an anxiety foul, Frank. He's anxious to get into it. And I'm equally anxious to take a look at this Lanphier defense, which is showing perhaps a second wrinkle with McGuire keying to Farr.
Farr comes down, and Farr can really pop the ball from outside. There he is, and McGuire shapes it. Missed. Samuels rebound. And while the Lions are shorter, they're also tougher on the board.
They are.
Bob Nika said on taking the team here, it's like Christmas. You never, ever get tired of it.
He should know.
He won it in '83 with sophomore Ed Horton at center. There's senior Ed. Skip pass to his brother William. McCants.
Another rebound. Another audible rebound, I might add.
McCants pushes the ball up. Still no score. We're under 6 minutes. In the first quarter of the title game, Farr fakes and sends it off McCants' foot out of bounds.
We could hear McGuire that time calling out for one of his teammates to shadow Farr. Obviously, Raheem will shadow McCants wherever he goes.
Allowed to Horton with a stinger.
Well, they caught the back line of Mount Carmel flat on that one, but McGuire has great court vision and perception and caught that.
The first 2 points of the game, a thundering dunk by Ed Horton. Farr walk.
Obviously, McGuire's task is to shadow Farr wherever he is in his particular area of the zone, but Farr is going to travel greater distances than that.
The zone is packed in deep. 15 feet, nobody higher than that. Horton's in the middle against McCants. McGuire finds Raheem, who missed. William Horton rebounds and was fouled. Or committed a foul, I guess.
He pushed to gain position.
He had his over-the-rainbow jump shot working this afternoon.
Yeah, I think he'll get her to fall tonight as well. It's early. Interesting defensive alignment for Lanphier.
That's Callaway. Smallwood at 2:30 outside. Farr. He shot it and missed it, and Horton's got it. Horton and McCants in the middle. Both of these teams are vulnerable to an 8-footer.
They are.
An 8-foot center. McGuire comes down to the
man-to-man
baseline.
defense for Mount Carmel this time.
2-0 Lanphier. 4:39 in the first quarter. Shot is not good, and McCants with another rebound.
Horton's a little bit on the anxious side.
Both McCants and Horton with 48 rebounds in the tournament. The record is 58. Somebody or both will break it. Derek Boyd is 44. Another traveling call on James Farr. And he asked Ed Schmidt, what did I do?
Well, the manner in which the two big kids are negating one another, the defense is attempting to take away Farr. Increasingly, the three sophomores become a factor in the game.
Mount Carmel's committed 4 turnovers. Lanphier none yet. Horton turns and shoots. Who's got it? Ed Horton to the floor, threw it away. So the scoring comes slowly as the teams try to get their rhythms in a tense championship game. Now, an official time has been...
I think Boyd caught an elbow.
Yeah, Boyd's looking at it, at his hand that he put to his mouth. He might be bleeding there in the mouth a little bit. He's all right.
He knows the feeling. It's happened before.
Zones, again, the staple of the tournament. Smallwood shoots a rare shot and drills it.
He took advantage of McGuire's shadowing Farr to the corner, left that spot in the zone wide open.
3:38 in the first quarter. Horton comes to help. He's active. He flies down and fires off the move.
That's the one he was looking for. He wanted the first one.
He has 4. 3:22 in the first. Lanphier by a deuce. You'll see in a moment there Raheem pushing McCants out to the corner. McCants demonstrated today what a superb athlete and basketball player he is too. Farr aims.
That's exactly what he did. He aimed.
The game is tied. We're under 3 minutes in the first quarter. Wally Raheem. He's had a good tournament for the Lions. Here's a high lob to Horton. It's missed, and he controls it somehow. Gets it back out to McGuire.
Great quickness for a 6'8" player.
Raheem baseline to Samuels. He's in trouble. Farr got away, and there's Samuels' baseline strip.
Smallwood. Just a brilliant defensive play.
He kept his feet and ripped the ball away from Kevin Samuels.
And with that strength, he ripped it.
2:22 on the clock, and the game is tied. McCants is in the corner now. Boyd. And with McCants away from the goal a little bit, Mount Carmel gets one shot.
Right.
McGuire against Farr. Good matchup. Here comes Horton. Samuels is fouled by McCants. The big guys have one apiece.
Yeah, they're both on a little, slightly on the anxious side. See the replay. McCants is slightly flat-footed there and on the top, caught over the back for the foul.
We have timeout on the court. One of your network sponsors, John Deere.
Huddle. Interesting. Paul McGuire telling his teammates, listen to me, listen to me. He's reading the defense out there. There's your point guard, a take charge performance.
2:02 on the clock. Well, we'll send you down to the other huddle next time, and we'll have it scooped.
That's our man from the CIA.
Thank you, Art. That's McGuire out between the rings. The zone is 2-3. McGuire pumps.
Well, he knew what he was talking about.
Listen to me, then watch me shoot it in.
Well, our intelligence agency came through with flying colors that time.
6-4, Lanphier. Smallwood comes outside, and there's Farr. He loves those corner shots.
He does.
McCants can't get free from the double team. Farr.
Farr is beginning to recognize that McGuire can only shade him so far. And that's not a pun.
So far. The score is tied, and Horton dances in the middle, gives it off to his brother William for 2.
That's all in the family.
112. The powerful Chicago Catholic League of Chicago champion Mount Carmel is here. And Farr fires again. Rebound to Horton. He speared it over McCants. Tricky dribble. Under a minute.
Man to man.
They go to Horton. He turns and fades. Tough shot. Rebound McCants on the baseline. Farr pushes it up to Callaway. Smallwood tries again. And that's Abdul Rahim for Lanphier with 35 seconds. Will they take one? Man-to-man, Farr hawks the ball. Horton on the move. So much for one shot.
Right.
3-on-2 is the break. Farr, Callaway, blocked away by Samuels. Farr shoots again. Got it.
Got it to drop.
9 seconds in the quarter. The score is tied. 6 for Farr. 5-4. Horton way outside. That's it. That's the end of the first quarter. Well, wait a second.
To go.
We're going to have a whistle. I didn't hear the whistle. It's 1 second. So all Mount Carmel can do is throw the ball as far down the floor as they can. Of course, there could be 1.9 seconds.
You never know.
1.9.
You never know.
It's caught by Boyd, and that's it. 1 period is in the books. 8 all. One of your network sponsors, Country Companies Insurance. Third place with a 56-46 victory over fourth place Cahokia. And now we're playing for the state championship. We've played 1 quarter. Chicago Mount Carmel and Springfield Lanphier tied at 8. McCants with 4 rebounds in the quarter. Horton with 3. They each have 50. Horton gets the tip again.
However, McCants did not score in the first quarter.
And his team stayed tied. McGuire punches it into Horton, and McCants
Draws
foul.
second foul.
Melvin McCants playing against Horton behind him.
Pass inside, and of course, Horton took the ball directly to McCants. McCants is eager to reject the shot. Another look, and of course, a better angle where we see the foul.
Melvin McCants has that mild-mannered demeanor on the court, but Clark Kent turned into Superman this afternoon.
That's right. That's right.
And Ed Horton has 5.
Well, we're looking at the typical confrontation, big man against big man. It could be point guard against point guard. It could be wing player against wing player. This time it's the heavyweight division.
Lanphier by 1. Mount Carmel will shoot for the lead. Rahim stays man-to-man on McCants. The rest is his own. The lob into him anyway. He steps in and bowls his way for 2.
Great move. Here in that basket.
And
Farr, we'll see, is beginning to travel to the right corner, staying away from the left corner where McGuire shades him.
Mount Carmel took the lead with that hoop. McGuire works inside to Horton. Here he comes. He won.
Horton's still a bit over-anxious to work on McCants. With patience, I think, a little fake here and there, he could draw that third foul because I think McCants is equally anxious to negate whatever Horton's trying to get done.
Pride.
Exactly.
Neither will give an inch. Smallwood shoots. Derek Boyd rebounds, but picked up by Callaway now. 7 minutes to go in the half. Mount Carmel by 1 with the ball. Farr goes to the corner. Samuels comes out with those long arms and tries to stop him. There's a steal by McGuire. Up ahead is William Horton. He's got it to Rahim. Yes!
Oh, there was a battle down court for control of that ball. 2-on-2, but 8 hands battling for that ball.
And Wally Abdul Rahim gives Lanphier the lead back. 2-man front on offense. Farr roams to the corner. Samuels almost committed the sin of leading the ball.
Pass.
Boyd off the window. Look at McCants. Got it.
McCants stayed in there and got it.
Melvin McCants with 4.
Rahim is one of the state's most underrated ball players.
Here's a great steal by Farr.
Oh, my.
Just anticipated superbly well and exploded on that errant pass.
A great play by Farr. He did that 3 or 4 times in the game in the semifinals. Mount Carmel now by 3.
Again, another example of why Coach McQuillan speaks as highly of him as he does.
It's Horton on the turnaround.
Nice
Drop
pass.
down to Rahim. Count it. Goaltending on McCants.
Rahim has been in the right place the entire tournament. He's amazing.
Right. Here's that block. Attempted block, but it was, of course, goaltend.
And Rahim is only 6'2".
Yep.
5
He's been asked to do a lot of things.
Now he's playing guard tonight.
Right.
in the corner. James Farr flips it. On the rebound.
It's McCants.
That's 3. big, important call.
Here we see the confrontation between the two big kids. Horton got the better of it that time as McCants picked up his third foul.
We hope you're enjoying our action tonight. Country Companies Insurance and its nearly 900 agents are happy to be a part of this IHSA telecast, and they hope you'll join us again next Saturday as we crown the 85 A and AA champions in girls basketball. Melvin McCants goes out. And into the lineup comes 25, Edward Murray, a 6'2 junior. William Horton missed. Samuels fouled on the rebound.
We've been saying, of course, through the course of the tournament that a key element in rebounding is positioning, and anything over the top is indicative of poor positioning.
Coach Bob Nike of Lanphier just ran onto the court and yelled, "Hey, get the ball to Horton." McCants is over on the bench. 14-13, Mount Carmel in the lead. Bob Nike trying to have 2 titles in 3 years at Lanphier. And the Chicago Catholic League has never had a state champion, and they could tonight. Baseline Murray. Look at Samuels. That wingspan covers him. If you're looking for Paul Pipus, he's injured and out. Farr
Back out to the point now.
Sizzling. James Farr has 10. Mount Carmel by 3. Let's see if they punch it inside to Ed Horton. Yes,
Sure
sir.
do, early on.
Smallwood with that
Jump ball.
defense.
Right.
Good hands by Sam Smallwood at 6 foot and 230.
Impressive officiating at this point.
A couple of take charge guys.
Really aggressive officiating. It's really a pleasure to see that kind of thing going on. Intensity, hard working.
All right, now it's Boyd in the middle of jump. I think Mount Carmel slipped one in on him. And they got the ball. 4:38 to play in the half. Mount Carmel by 3. And I guess you'd say it's so exciting.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. But I'm going to refrain from using that word.
Okay. Baseline is covered. The outside is where it's at. And Mount Carmel playing deliberately with Smallwood on a wing. And Murray in the middle. Got it.
Great shot.
Edward Murray, who had knee surgery only 6 weeks ago, gives Mount Carmel a 5-point lead with 4:03. First half. Lanphier has been frozen on 13 a while. And they got it into Horton, who is held. Might have been from the front on Farr. No, on Callaway from the front. Mount Carmel on the season lost to Chicago Leo, St. Rita, Gordon Tech, and Decatur Eisenhower. They came back later and defeated St. Rita and Leo.
We've talked about the great juniors in the state, and we've also talked about some of the teams that'll be loaded next year, and we haven't mentioned Chicago Leo, which had a great season last year under Coach Jack Fitzgerald, and returns 2 of the premier juniors from the state, Randy Dawson, Chris Henderson.
Free throw by Horton. Gets Lanphier off the 13. It's a 4-point Mount Carmel lead. Here comes Farr, wheeling it downstairs to Murray with the left hand.
The chemistry is so good right now in the absence, ironically, of McCants.
And give a lot of credit to Edward Murray off the bench with 2 quick hoops.
Boy, he's really live.
The Caravan by 6. Horton lobs inside to his brother Ed, who is stripped.
The 2 sophomores on defense have been doing it. Smallwood, of course, is one, and Derek Boyd the other.
The sophomores. What's the standard? We are the children, we are the world.
Well, that leaves out Art and me.
Yeah,
And guess who
long
else?
time ago.
Lob inside, goes to Murray, and he kicks it back outside. And Mount Carmel playing with a good deal of patience and poise in the title game. And they're without McCants with 3 fouls. James Farr is too far open for most teams, and Raheem rebounds.
Raheem doing so much. Defense, rebounding, scoring. Fine player. Unheralded player.
Pat McGuire gonna fire from outside.
That's the second in a row, he said. He's taking charge He knows he has to hit that shot for the top of the key to make that defense honest, and he's done it twice.
The senior leader at the point guard position. You see the score. The time is 2.5 in the first half. Frank Bissoni, along with Coach Ron Nikovich and Art Kimball. Ed Murray. There's the rebound to Lanphier. And Samuels, who starts the first game in the tournament, rebounds. The zone is 2-3, but it's higher now after McGuire's shots.
Right.
William Horton's on the wing. Inside is Raheem, who's bumped and fouled. The foul is on Derek Boyd of Mount Carmel. And checking in for the Lanphier Lions is 10, Mike Tapley, a 6'5 senior. Kevin Samuels out. Wally Abdul Rahim will go to the free throw line with 1 in bonus. He'll try to get his team within 2. There is the reserve for Mount Carmel, Ed McQuillan, 43.
Actually, young McQuillan Jr. was a starter for Mount Carmel throughout the early part of the season, so he's an experienced player coming off the bench. A real plus that any team enjoys having.
Raheem. There's Ed McQuillan. His assistants, Mike McCord over there with him. Paul Rabarchik over there too. Lanphier is 2 down with 2:05 to go in the first half. Timeout on the court. We'll be back. One of your network sponsors, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics. Mount Carmel and Lanphier are hooked up in a dandy. Melvin McCants, the star center for Mount Carmel, is on the bench with 3 fouls, and the starting guard, Paul Pipus, is injured and not in the game for the Lions of Lanphier. Mount Carmel with the ball in the brown. McQuillan's on the left wing, 43. McCants has 52 rebounds in the tournament. Horton has 50. The record is 58 by Darrell Allen. In the middle, Smallwood has the basketball.
With McCants out of the ball game, Raheem's defensive job returns to the conventional spot in the zone, but as a result, the middle becomes open for Mount Carmel for Derek Boyd as well as Smallwood.
Smallwood stepped in and didn't. Boyd can't. Skip pass up ahead to Farr. 1:20, and without McCants, Mount Carmel is being extra patient. They lead by 2. Almost went to 4 corners. Smallwood punches it in the middle
opening to McQuillan, but he traveled.
Well, those officials had him right together. They almost did that call in unison. 1:07 on the clock, and Lanphier could tie.
Imagine the field day McCants could have if Raheem was not fronting him the way he was on the box and 1 situation.
Mount Carmel's turned the ball over 7 times to 4 for Lanphier, still lead. McGuire has Farr respecting his shooting some more now, and he backs up with the ball. Under a minute. Standing around a little bit, the Lions, so McGuire fires.
Off rebound.
Derek Boyd, the sophomore, went and got that one.
They really sealed off well.
Farr calls out a play. 1 shot, he says. Half a minute in the half. We're playing for the state AA championship. Providence St. Mel won the A crown last weekend. Steal by the Lions. It's William Horton and a foul on Callaway. Good play by William Horton. Callaway picks up his 2nd personal. And in the bonus to William Horton. He had 12 points today earlier against Homewood Flossmoor in a good shooting game.
Right, from that right corner, but he hasn't been getting that shot to drop so far in the first half.
There's Horton, one of the sophomore stars in the tournament. The high archer has got Lanphier within 1 now. Such good defense the teams play anymore. Makes it difficult to get big scoring games.
It really does.
Funny rotation, perfect result. Now the game is tied, and you'll likely see Mount Carmel get that last shot. Watch for James Farr, 23. 7. Smallwood looks at the clock. There's Farr with 4. He'll go get a shot. Here it comes. It's no good. The tip isn't either. And we've played the first half. The score is tied at 20. One of your network sponsors, John Deere.
For the presentation of the 3rd and 4th place team and individual awards for the boys Class A state basketball tournament. Presenting the medallions to the squad members of the 4th place team will be Dr. David Turner of Porta High School in Petersburg, who serves the IHSA as vice president of the board, and Mr. Leroy Newton of Carterville High School, who serves the IHSA as a member of the board of directors. At this team, we'd like to introduce you to the Comanches of Cahokia High School, who finished the 1985 season in 4th place with a final record of 28 wins, 5 losses. First, meet the principal of Cahokia High School, Mr. David Midkiff. The head coach, Ken McBride. Assistant coach, John Latta. Assistant coach, Pete Schumacher. Manager, Chris Wilkinson. Number 12, Ed Ludeman. Number 14, John L. Marks. Number 32, Stan Silas. Number 50, Tim Goodwin. Number 40, Matt Luster. Number 10, Craig Baxton. Number 20, Marvin Wallace. Number 44, Guy Williams. Number 30, Joey Marshall. Number 34, Mike Mitchell. Number 24, Rod Lawry. And number 22, Wes Borden. Presenting medallions to the squad members of the 3rd place team will be Mr. Fred Curtis of East High School in Belleville, who serves the IHSA as treasurer, and Mr. Charles Smith of Homewood Flossmoor High School in Flossmoor, who serves the IHSA as president of the board of directors. Mr. Smith is also principal of Homewood Flossmoor High School. At this time, please meet the Vikings of Homewood Flossmoor, who finished the 1985 season in 3rd place with a final record of 26 wins, only 5 losses. Dr. Edward J. Ratchford is the superintendent of Homewood Flossmoor High School. The head coach of the Vikings is Don Lacarta. Assistant coach, Bob Nyberg. Assistant coach, Paul Jackson. Assistant coach, John Chrissy. Number 10, Jeff Pavlik. Number 21, Gary Ratchford. Number 24, Dave Slaughter. Number 32, Scott Tierney. Number 40, Glenn Howard. Number 52, Nate Grant. Number 54, Phil Healy. Number 35, Tracy Wilson. Number 50, Tim Haggerty. Number 55, Dick Seidel. Number 20, Ken Ridgway. Number 22, Tim Walton. The manager of the Vikings, Scott Benjamin. Presenting the 4th place trophy will be Mr. Don Robinson, who serves the IHSA as Assistant Executive Secretary. Will head coach Ken McBride and the captains of the Cahokia Comanches please step forward and receive your 4th place trophy.
There's 4th place, the Comanches of Cahokia. The first regional title in 31 years. They come all the way.
Presenting the 3rd place trophy will be the principal of Homewood Flossmoor High School, Mr. Charles Smith. Will head coach Don Laquetta and the captains of the Homewood Flossmoor Vikings please step forward to receive your 3rd place trophy.
Don Laquetta's moment with his team, 3rd in the state, the Sika East. Congratulations to the Vikings of Homewood Flossmoor.
It's a proud moment.
We'll be back. One of your network sponsors, Country Companies Insurance. Looks like this. Wally Abdul Rahim and Ed Horton with 6 apiece. William Horton and McGuire with 4 apiece. Nobody in foul trouble, as you can see. The balance is effective for the Lions. For Mount Carmel, not so much balance as James Farr lights it up with 10. Murray off the bench with 4. McCants, the big center, with 4 points, but 3 fouls. Smallwood with a deuce. Boyd and Callaway did not score in the first half. In team statistics, field goal shooting belongs to Mount Carmel by a little. 9 of 21 is 43%. Lanphier 7 of 20, 35%. A significant statistic. Mount Carmel did not try a free throw in the first half. Lanphier tried 8, made 6 for 75. The turnover was about even. 14 rebounds to 10. Mount Carmel wins the battle of the glass. They committed 6 fouls and Lanphier but 3. You talk about what the fans want. At the end of 1 quarter here, the score was tied 8-8. At the end of the half, it's 20-20, and Ron Nikovich, we still can't separate these 2 fine teams.
No, we really can't. We were analyzing the statistics individually and collectively, and I think probably the biggest statistic of all is the individual 3 foul statistic on Melvin McCants. Now, he, of course, will start the second half, I'm sure, but he certainly will have to be more patient offensively, simply for 2 reasons. He does have 3 fouls, and secondly, the unique nature of the Lanphier defense, which obviously is keying on him, with Raheem fronting him, getting help from the other teammates in the zone.
Well, of course, those are great players, and another player that's been great on our team for the last 3 years, as you're looking at right here, Coach Ron Nikovich. And I know I speak for Art Kimball and the entire crew, the director and the producer. Ron, it's been just a treat to have you with us. You've added so much, and you've done it not only with knowledge, but with great articulation. We appreciate all your help.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it very much.
Ron taught us an entirely new vocabulary, PJs and Blue Jays and things of that sort that we didn't know existed until this fella came wandering down from LaGrange, right?
He's a tough one. We'll have a tie score, and we'll be back with the second half. One of your network sponsors, John Deere. Starting lineup to jump center for the Caravan in brown. For Lanphier, they will start a junior, number 40, Brian Johnson, 6'6", in place of Kevin Samuels to start the second half. Samuels started in place of Paul Pifus, who is injured.
Coach Nyker's looking for the right combination to complement what he's looking for defensively.
All right, 2 tips for Horton and now 1 for McCants. Everything's going to be even tonight. Smallwood slaps it over to Boyd. Raheem with position rebounded.
Rebounded and fronted McCants. He's got a defensive job, and he's rebounding as well.
Let's see if he remembers what he can do offensively. Here's a steal by Boyd, a tough sophomore. Farr comes up in the front court. The leading scorer in the game, James Farr, at 5'9". Here we talk all about the big people.
Right.
Still the same defense with Raheem on McCants, and the lob goes to Melvin. His baseline shot is not good. The rebound to Boyd.
Well, he got by with one because he went up and down. Derek Boyd went up and down and got by with one on that one.
And now Lanphier will try to take the lead with McGuire at the point. Horton slaps it into Ed Horton, his brother, who turns and is blocked. And foul on McCants, number 4. McCants' minutes tonight are severely limited. Horton has but 1 foul. There's Ed McQuillan, who's got to come back with Edward Murray off the bench.
As we were alluding to during the halftime, Frank, of course, McCants was impatient in a situation like that. He had to use his head to remain in the game.
With 6:59 in the third quarter and the score tied, McCants has number 4. Horton, I think if most people, media fans, could have their wish, they'd wish neither one of those guys got a foul all night.
Exactly. The unfortunate part about the rules, I guess.
And believe me, we're not criticizing the call.
No, not at all.
Because they're legit fouls.
They certainly were. But now we'll see the defense change again. The adjustment will take place now in the absence of McCants.
In the corner, James Farr fakes and moves in. He's tipped at it, and the Lions control.
Remarkable that he even got that shot off. 3 Lanphier players converged to Farr. At 5'9", he still got it off.
A lob to the baseline, Raheem. This is William Horton.
Well, he's warming up to the kind of shot that he demonstrated this afternoon.
He has 6. Now it's a 4-point lead for Lanphier. Earlier, Mount Carmel had a 4-point lead. Smallwood is almost left free. So's Callaway. And Callaway slapped that one in with a lot of confidence.
And I think it was Callaway's first shot of the game.
6 minutes to play in the third. McGuire wheels into the front court. Horton.
Zone defense this time for Mount Carmel.
Ed Horton is double teamed on the low block. Here's a steal by Farr. He did it again. Farr goes down and shoots.
Fake.
Let's see what the call is. Foul on the Lions. And as the President of the United States might say, well, there he goes again. Farr just keeps stealing the ball.
He does.
William Horton picked up his second foul.
Here's the ball fake, which gave him the opportunity to get off a potential 3-point play. Without that ball fake, that shot would have been blocked.
Boy, Ed McQuillan really knew what he was talking about when he was praising Farr before they ever played a minute.
Right.
McQuillan's defense on Ed Horton has been spectacular tonight. The big guy has 2 buckets, McCants or no McCants.
Shot is down by Farr. He's got a dozen. The game is tied at 24. Who will finally break? We're down to 2 teams. And a big house at the Assembly Hall watches. William Horton inside. Ed Horton is double teamed and the ball is loose. And who else? James Farr on the fly. Reverse dribble for 2.
Spectacular play. Put pressure on the defense with his quickness all the way. Actually, he was at a disadvantage, but he put the pressure on the defense and took it right to the hole.
The spotlight player in the game to this point. James Farr put Mount Carmel in the lead. Travel on McGuire. And now Mount Carmel can get themselves a 4-point lead as it shakes hands. I think it's fairly significant that Mount Carmel plays with so much poise without Melvin McCants.
It seems like the chemistry without him is a little bit better than it is with him.
Mount Carmel has 5 steals in the game, and they lead. Inside player, Farr roaming the baseline.
Notice how the defense is wary of wherever Farr goes. From baseline to baseline, from corner to corner.
There's Johnson coming way out on him at 6'6", trying to get a hand in his face. Smallwood at 2:30 sends it into Murray, and he walks. A ball fake or a move before you go,
right,
often traveling.
Right. The key to that is the pivot. The pivot means one foot's got to be planted.
McGuire directs the Lions into the offensive zone. William Horton for the tie.
For the tie and hitting that kind of shot that he demonstrated this afternoon. Once again, he's warming up to the task in the second half.
He has 8, his season's average.
And that surprises me. The season average of 8. The way he shoots it, I think he'd get around 12 or 13.
Farr fakes and goes. He freed himself for the shot, and some players can't do that.
It's quickness, Frank.
It's a 2-shot violation. The foul is on Brian Johnson. And 10, Mike Tapley checks in for the Lions in place of Johnson. There's Paul Pipus, the guard, the regular starter, who is out with an injured ankle. And the free throw by James Farr makes him perfect at the line in 3 attempts. He's something special. 16. Mount Carmel again by 2. 3:55 in the third. McGuire way out on the court. They'll cover Horton on that one now.
Right.
Lob inside, Ed Horton. And his offense is not with him tonight, at least yet. But an explosive player who can bust out any time. Smallwood is left alone. So's Farr.
Hit again.
And James Farr is leading the Caravan. McGuire sings it on the side to Tapley. Ed Horton wants the ball on the low block. William Horton shoots. Look at the rebound by Murray. Here comes Mount Carmel. Boyd fires. And the Lions have it. They're playing a little slower than I thought they'd want to. Particularly without McCants in the lineup. Tapley, first shot.
He hit a shot, but at the same time, it seems to me that Lanphier is ignoring Horton, who is open in the key.
Mount Carmel leads by 2. 2.5 to play in the third. Here's James Farr again. Here he comes.
He got caught a foul that time.
And the Lions may have to do some man-to-manning on James Farr. You see at the scorer's table, 23, Willie Greer, a 6'1 junior now coming on for the Lions. Tapley will come out. Tapley come in and stuck a shot.
Evidently, this Pipus injury situation is creating some problems for Coach Nika in terms of his defensive strategy.
Well, he played 3 players in that slot tonight.
Right.
Mount Carmel's lead is 3. There's a look right down the lane at Farr. So far, so good. 2:24 to play in the third quarter. Mount Carmel has the lead, and one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. Carmel defense and get the ball inside to their 6'8 center.
I think once they begin looking to him, and I think once Horton begins asserting himself in a pivot with a target hand, the way Dick Seidel at home with Flossmoor does, it could be lights out for Mount Carmel.
There's a long pass over to Willie Greer.
But that kind of passing won't do it. And Horton's been standing around in that pivot area.
Now he puts his hands up for the ball. He didn't get it, though. The defense almost did. And McGuire's got it back.
Again, he needs to show a target hand inside. There it is.
2 minutes in the third. Rebound. Over the top of Horton.
The key to the pass in a situation like that is when the post player shows his target hand. We probably will see it in this replay coming up. There's the... Well, he went over the top on the foul. Of course, he did not knife in the game position. There is a means by which an offensive player can knife in and beat that defensive block out. Going over the top is not the way to do it.
James Farr slips down the court.
Farr, with his quickness, puts the pressure on that Lanphier defense. It's incredible. He's very explosive.
Like a laser beam. He
yes.
slips down the court.
Third foul on Horton.
Ed Horton now has 3. Melvin McCants out of the game with 4. And if anybody would have told us that Melvin McCants would have played this little, most people would have never guessed Mount Carmel would lead by 4.
Greg, in case people just joined us, excuse me, Ron. McCants picked up his 3rd foul with 5:23 left in the half, 5:32 to go in the half, and his 4th with 6:59 left in the 3rd period.
That's 7 for 7 for James Farr at the free throw line.
And as we said at the top of the show, of course, the presence of the 3 starting sophomores in a championship game may become a factor as the game progresses.
22 points for James Farr in a stunning title game performance. 3-second violation on the Lions, and Mount Carmel has a 6-point lead, the ball, and momentum.
And that momentum, as we've said throughout the tournament, typically will come during that final 3 or 4 minute segment of the 3rd quarter, which could be the turn in the ball game.
Foul on Willie Greer in the backcourt.
We may be looking at that right now.
There's Ed McQuillan. His team has performed so brilliantly throughout the tournament. And he is positioning himself to have a chance to win it all.
An unusual quirk in Coach McQuillan's career is that he came from a college job to a high school job, if I recall correctly. Typically, people like to go the other direction.
Free throw by James Farr, 9 in a row. Bob Nika very concerned. 10 in a row. An 8-point Mount Carmel lead built around the red-hot shooting of James Farr. A minute and a half in the 3rd quarter.
And who could have dreamed that this advantage would occur in the absence of Melvin McCants?
Fake and a lob inside to Ed Horton. He is hit by Farr.
Again.
There's Boyd and a
Travel.
Ed Schmidt turned around and said he'd lose both feet.
I'll tell you, one of the quickest people on the floor is Eddie Schmidt from Peoria. He's the official, fans.
He had a good position to see that one.
He sure did.
Now we're to 110. Willie Greer fires. And here's a steal by McGuire. A big play. Over and back is the call. Is it?
It is a correct call. Ed Schmidt was right on top of the play and called it correctly.
Bob Nika is there disputing that.
But Ed Schmidt was right on top of that line and saw exactly what happened. If we catch it on the replay. There's the rebound, the outlet pass that was thrown, and the possession, of course, caught on the front court going into the back court.
Here's the ball off of Boyd's foot, picked up by McGuire, who's everywhere. All of a sudden, Willie Greer ahead to Raheem, and he missed the left-hander.
That was a tough shot to miss.
And Lanphier, needing a momentum bucket, didn't get it. Murray's on the baseline.
Great
Inside,
pass.
Smallwood missed, but Boyd didn't.
But the sophomores are playing now. Derek Boyd and Eddie and Sam Smallwood.
Exploding to a 10-point advantage, Mount Carmel. And Horton tries to go to work.
And he does.
Ed Horton has 10 in the game. 15 seconds. Mount Carmel might want one shot. James Farr.
Look at that dribble.
He's just a superb player.
An inch off the floor.
4, 3, 2. Smallwood way short. That's it. We've played 3 periods at the Assembly Hall in the game for the championship. Mount Carmel in the lead. One of your network sponsors, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
And now, of course, a big decision on Coach McQuillan's part. Does he upset the effective chemistry of this present 5 players with the insertion of McCants now, or should he wait?
Mount Carmel has shot 10 out of 10 from the free throw line, all far.
After the first half, in which they did not shoot any free throws at all.
44% shooting for Mount Carmel, 38 for Lanphier. 20 rebounds to 15, Mount Carmel, and McCants is still not in the game. 1 quarter to play. Ed Horton again. And And Ed Horton's hit 2 in a row for the Lions, who have 7:40 to come back. They're 6 down. The biggest lead was 10. A steal by Raheem. Here he goes. Good.
Raheem showing his multi-talents.
6 in a row by the last steal.
Another steal.
Lanphier is back in the game. Inside Ed Horton. Baseline. Ed Murray is hurt. His leg is hurt. Here's a lob to Ed Horton. Nobody sees it. Here's a whistle and a foul against Mount Carmel.
It's a block.
Edward Murray hurt the knee that he apparently had surgery on, and a game competitor has to come out.
Well, there's Melvin McCants coming back in now, riding with 4 fouls.
That makes Coach McQuillan's decision easier to make. He had only one choice at this time.
There's Edward Murray. Let's see if we can see it.
Yeah, the pressure was put on the injured knee. As you see, all the body weight was exerted on the right knee, and it crumbled on it.
Ed Horton. And from 38 to 28, Lanphier runs 7. And Coach, you've talked about spurts all tournament long.
Spurts.
6 of 8 at the foul line for Horton. Lanphier is within 2 and breathing down the neck of Mount Carmel. The defense goes eyeball to eyeball, man to man.
Man to man.
Look at how active it is.
It really is very active.
It's a furious fight for the state championship.
Positioning in the post. Horton and McCants.
Derek Boyd fakes. Whistle.
There's a 3 seconds.
4 turnovers in the quarter, and there's 6:45 yet in it. And Mount Carmel's lead has unraveled, and Ed McQuillan sits. Lanphier has a chance to tie the game in a blink of an eye. They're back in it. McGuire gives it up. Raheem missed. Big rebound by McCants. And Ed Horton made sure he didn't foul.
He got it out of there.
Barr, the blur in the backcourt. And a foul on Willie Greer of the Lions. Greer's second. What a spot for a junior reserve to come into. And he's performed well off it. Then Derek Boyd to the line. Boyd is a 6'4" sophomore and has come along this season to a place where he is a major player next year. John Deere and your local John Deere dealer are delighted to again be a co-sponsor of these IHSA basketball telecasts. We're glad you're with us tonight.
And the other sophomore rebounded the miss.
It was Smallwood. Mount Carmel by 2.
Smallwood really position traveled.
Smallwood won.
He gained great position for the offensive rebound, but got a little bit anxious for the power move inside and dragged his pivot foot.
When officials make a call that aggressively, few argue with them.
Can't argue with that.
Under 6 minutes in the game. Lanphier shoots for the tie. William Horton missed. Ed Horton didn't.
All in the family.
16 for Ed Horton, and the Empire strikes back. And a foul on Willie Greer. Three fouls on Greer off the bench. What a run by the Lions, but don't count that man and his team out. They built the big lead, and they did it without McCants. Their powerhouse. And look who's at the free throw line.
Barr seeks, of course, to cut off that 10-0 run by Lanphier.
He's still perfect.
His 11th consecutive free throw of the half.
And 25 in the game. As the Lanphier bench watches Farr, goes 12 for 12. What's the tournament record for that?
In a half.
Wow. Yeah, that's in a half, folks. 5:30 to play in the game. Again, Mount Carmel by 2.
Settling back to the 2-3 zone again. Packed in.
McGuire gets it to Ed Horton. Steps in for and a miss. Smallwood rebounds. The Caravan rolls. Far. Good.
Super move. Just put tremendous pressure on the defense. Quickness and control.
Consecutive free throws, 1 game, 12. Bob Bone, Collinsville. Consider it tied. Rebound to Derek Boyd and a whistle. A foul on Mount Carmel.
It's on Boyd. Apparently went over the top on that. We'll take a look at it in the replay, see exactly what happened. Here's the shot. And he went over the top. Too much body there. A push-up.
Foul is on Boyd. Mount Carmel leads by 4. There's just a tick under 5 minutes to play in the championship game. Lob to Horton.
Now that, of course, was predetermined. But Mount Carmel flat-footed. Horton did a great job of acting, playing very coy on that.
His second dunk of the game, and a steal by Greer. Now Lanphier can tie. The Assembly Hall is up for grabs. William Horton wing left. Lob inside, and Raheem Cooley brings it back. Ed Horton says other side of the court. He wants it in the point guard's hands. 4:20. Horton assuming some leadership role now. Inside Raheem, steps away and missed. Rebound out of bounds to the Lions.
How long has it been, Art, since we've had an overtime game in the championship?
A long, long while. It's one of the great championship games in recent history.
You saw Ed McQuillan show the cards saying stack. Two-three zone. They collapse on Ed Horton. Clock moves toward 4 minutes in the game. Lanphier wants to tie here. You might be able to hear Ed Horton yelling, "Take it back out." McGuire's close. Under 4 minutes. Lanphier looking hard and long for a good shot. Ed Horton is passive now. McCants behind him on the low block. Steal by Farr.
Steal by Farr. Super quick hands.
Incredible player. Look at his dribble on the move. Willie Greer gets down and plays good defense. What a big play that was. Farr kept Lanphier from getting a shot. And timeout. And I think Farr decided that for himself. 3:23 left in this thriller. One of your network sponsors is John Deere. Farr have had big plays all night long. And again, they did it in this final period.
Here's that replay of that inbounds pass where we saw the slam by Ed Horton catching Mount Carmel flat-footed on the lob pass.
And here's new meaning to the phrase "by far," with James Farr in control of the offense for Mount Carmel. Smallwood goes to the baseline. This is Derek Boyd. Wow. Ed Horton is fouled by Boyd with 3:14 to play, and Lanphier 2 behind. That's 4 fouls on Derek Boyd. And now McCants and Derek Boyd play with 4 fouls. In the championship game, individual free throws, 10 of 10 is the best in the title game by Sorensen. In all games, 12 of 12. 12 consecutive is the best by Bob Bone. We'll talk about that as it becomes important. Lob inside Ed Horton, and another foul. This is James Farr, who says, "I got a mouthful of elbow."
That, of course, a pivotal foul. For the first time now in the second half, the Lions go on the bonus.
Ed McQuillan will watch Ed Horton shoot. Rebound battle for the tournament is even between McCants and Horton at 53. It's in. And Lanphier is within 1. bounds, and Mount Carmel tries to protect their lead. Willie Greer's defense has been impressive. Callaway to Farr. Here he comes. Foul.
Foul on the pull-up jumper.
James Farr will try to add to his consecutive free throw string. Bob Nyka, you heard that probably. Don't foul him. Farr shoots 2. Foul was on William Horton. He's still strong. That's 13 in a row.
13 straight.
That's the most consecutive in one game for an individual in the 29 points so far in the game. 30. And Farr pulls Mount Carmel in front of Lanphier by 3. What a performance. One of the best in title game history, I'm sure. Lob inside to Ed Horton. It hit the rim. And the rebound is to Mount Carmel.
Too much traffic for that kind of pass.
Mount Carmel has 2 minutes and 22 seconds to protect a 3-point advantage. Frank Cassoni along with Art Kimball and Coach Ron Nikovich. You're enjoying it. You saw the walk. And the walk means Lanphier has it. Now Mount Carmel plays defense. They still collapse on Horton. Raheem is on the baseline. McGuire. Ball out of bounds to the Caravan. McGuire's shot hit one of the Lions in the leg and out of bounds. Now it's full court, man-to-man pressure. Trouble for Mount Carmel.
Almost 5.
Smallwood helped out. 2 minutes in the game. Mount Carmel.
See what they're going to do now, the final 2.
They look to McCants, and it's stolen by Raheem.
Fronting McCants again, as he has been throughout the game.
Very effective defense against McCants, but still Mount Carmel holds the lead. Raheem steps in. He fell down. Horton rebound. It's a 1-point game with 1.5 minutes to play. You want excitement? You've got it. Oh, the pressure builds now. Smallwood looks inside. Derek Boyd missed. Horton rebound. Willie Greer. Foul on Farr. 2 shots.
Willie Greer, I thought, did a remarkable job of getting that shot off after being hammered the way he was. And, you know, with a little luck, he could have gotten a roll. See the replay on this. The quick pass out to Greer. Greer takes it to the basket where he's fouled. And, of course, just threw that thing up there. And with a little luck, it would have dropped.
And McQuillan freezes Greer with a timeout. One of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. South. We hope you're enjoying as much as we are the great state championship battle between Mount Carmel and Lanphier with 1:11 to play in the game. Mount Carmel leads by 1, but Willie Greer, a reserve who's played oh so well, shoots to put Mount Carmel into the lead with 2. What a game. Farr with 5 steals has broken an individual record. 4 was the record. Lanphier, 8 steals, breaks a number for the team. 7 was the previous number by East St. Louis Lincoln. First free throw is missed. Now Greer can tie it. He shoots free throws 53%. We've got a 1-minute and 10-second game for the state title. James Farr double team. Greer hawks him man-to-man. 1 minute left. There's the clock, lower right-hand corner. Foul is on the Lions. Greer, and James Farr is the guy.
Back to the free throw line.
4 fouls on Greer. The pressure's enormous now.
Yes, it is. And actually, Greer played him really well. It was one of those pick-em kind of fouls, and the difference was Farr's quickness.
timeout situation is 4 for Springfield Lanphier. They take one now, 3-2 for Mount Carmel. 56 seconds remain. We're tied. We'll be back. One of your network sponsors, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics. In a championship manner.
It certainly is, and we have a real champion, win or lose, going to the free throw line here. He certainly demonstrated his talent, which his coach McQuillan has been supporting throughout the course of the tournament. And James Farr is certainly an outstanding player.
He has been as accurate as an archer. 44-44. He's got all of his free throws, and he missed one finally. And Lanphier, can you believe it? After 14 in a row, he finally missed. And Lanphier with 50 seconds and a tie calls timeout. Goodness. We'll be back. Stay with us. One of your network sponsors is John Deere. Very critical. There's your timeouts remaining. Each team with 2. That's half of what they started with. Full court pressure by Mount Carmel. Ed Horton comes way down to help. You see the clock. McGuire against Farr, and McGuire must be very careful. Now Willie Greer. Farr has been a splendid player. One shot is what Lanphier wants to win the title. Ooh, and James Farr sliced at that ball.
Staying in the zone.
Buzz in the crowd of tension and excitement. This is for the state championship, and we're even. Lanphier with the ball. Who will get the final shot? Will they go to Ed Horton? 10 seconds to play in the title game. Greer to Horton. Ed turns and shoots and misses. Greer rebound blocked by McCann. Horton. And Mount Carmel, 1 second, it's overtime.
And Smallwood did what he's been doing all game long, stripped another one.
A thrilling game. We'll be back with 3 more minutes. Let's take a look at that final flurry as the ball went to Ed Horton.
It's a flurry, too. He just missed by inches. The second shot, the rejection, and the strip by Smallwood we see cleanly, and his retrieval of the strip. It's probably Smallwood's 3rd strip of the game under.
Well, those are little things, but oh so important. Maybe without that, the Lions are now the state champions.
Lanphier made quite a run in that 4th quarter, Frank and Ron. They outscored Mount Carmel 14-6, and they dug a pretty deep hole for themselves. Looked like they were in a lot of trouble. It's amazing how many times in great ball games like this, the great Ballyhoo confrontation, the McCann-Horton confrontation, it's been there, but it has not been center stage.
No, it hasn't.
And there have been other heroes, like Farr, certainly for Mount Carmel, with his brilliant performance. And this is the overall Lanphier comeback. And Willie Greer came off the bench and solved an obvious problem that Bob Nykiel was having. He went with 3 players.
There's Edward Murray, we have to remember,
right,
who was injured, and he made a big contribution with 2 key baskets when he first came into the game. There's the ice on the injured knee, and we go to 3 minutes of overtime for all of it. We couldn't even decide a winner in 32 minutes.
Could not.
In the brown, Mount Carmel, Melvin McCants in the middle. He's playing with 4 fouls. It was even after 1. It was even at the half. It's even after 4. And here we go again.
Back to the zone for Mount Carmel.
Mount Carmel shooting 42% in the game, and Lanphier 39 from the field. Free throw shooting 87 for Mount Carmel, 75 for Lanphier. Mount Carmel has 8 more rebounds, and Lanphier has the important thing, the ball. McGuire's at the point. Ed Horton's on the high post now. He'll move down lower, I think.
He will once the ball goes to the opposite side.
They rotated William Horton.
Looks like they're going to play for 1 through this situation, or at least looking for a position whereby they can get the ball inside the big Ed Horton.
Do you ever foul if you're Mount Carmel? You pick a guy and foul him?
Well, if you're going to pick a guy to foul, you're going to have to go to Greer. Greer went to the line the last time. It was 1 for 2, but it was heavy on the first one.
Now 2 minutes in overtime.
An advantage here, too, is Lanphier has 4 timeouts to take now. I think they had 3 after regulation. They pick up 1 in overtime. They got 4 to take.
They had 2, so they pick up. They have 3.
They have 3. Okay. Here they're going to take 1 now.
And there it is.
1 now.
With 1:42 on the clock, and the score, of course, still tied. We'll be back. One of your network sponsors, Country Companies Insurance.
The inbounds pass. Well, they left Raheem alone.
Greer is 23 with the ball there, playing in place with Paul Pipus right now.
Notice how Farr is playing the passing lanes. Oh,
just missed it, and Farr
playing a passing lane again.
125, you can see.
There's the pass they need to make from right to left.
They haven't shot. Nobody shot in the OT. Country Companies, John Deere and DeKalb Pfizer Genetics. Happy to have you with us. What a game.
We'll see another timeout shortly.
What would they like the clock to be when they call timeout? 15 seconds or so? 20?
Well, I think the coach is looking at the flow of the ball, and if the players become too tentative, he may call another timeout now. But I think he'd like to get them down probably to the 20-second mark before he calls a timeout for the scoring play.
You can hear the crowd ooh and ah as the ball gets close to James Farr.
But Lanphier is becoming increasingly tentative in the manner in which they're handling the ball now, so the timeout may come sooner. If not, a turnover will result.
Ask for help. 35 seconds in overtime. We're still tied, and there's your timeout with 32 on the clock. We'll come back for the conclusion. One of your network sponsors, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics. Sends the Lions onto the court. With the timeouts remaining showing, Mount Carmel has 3 left. Lanphier has spent them all but 1. We were tied 44 all at the end of regulation. That's still the score with 32 seconds left, and Lanphier has to get the ball inbounds against a tough Mount Carmel D.
The inbounds pass again to Raheem. Nobody's covering him.
Let's see if they'll take the shot or they'll go for one more timeout. Raheem dribbles through. Now the clock winds to the time when we'll have to decide it.
Farr's playing that passing lane.
Ed Horton comes way outside. William Horton shoots. No! Rebound. Ball loose. Still loose. Lanphier keeps it. 1 second. And Lanphier is going to call timeout. Their final timeout with 1 second. Now, 1 second on the clock. You have the ball out of bounds near your own goal. What do you pick?
All right, keep in mind that baseline out of bounds play that we earlier saw in the slam dunk by Eddie Horton. Keep that in mind. This time, I don't think Mount Carmel is going to get caught short in that department.
I wonder if there's ever been a double overtime in the state title game. It's just one of those things that you can't have much more excitement than this.
You may have to sacrifice Ed McCants in his 5th foul to stop Horton right here.
They have. There never has been, we've been told, there never has been a double overtime in the state championship.
Well, we're 1 second away from it.
God, I'm sure happy to be a part of history.
While we have just a moment here, and as you can see on the camera, we'd like to acknowledge the work of our fine crew and thank everybody associated with this. Thanks to Jerry Wheatley, our director, and Jan Moore, our stage manager, and Brad Johansson, our statistician, and all the gang in the truck. Joe Pate, our producer. What a treat it is to work this tournament.
You don't think Ed Horton is loose? He just looked over here and our crew winked and smiled.
He's at the top of the key. Let's see what they do. Are they going to lob the ball at the basket? William Horton will throw it in. That's
Here
it.
it comes.
Lob is right into the hands of McCants, and we have double overtime. The score remains 44 to 44.
No shots in an overtime.
Incredible.
Now, what's the timeout situation? How many does Lanphier pick up now?
Lanphier picks up 1 more, and Mount Carmel now goes to 4.
All right. Well, Lanphier gets 1 timeout, and again, now we're going to have to talk about a jump ball being very
opening
important.
jump of the second overtime is pivotal.
It certainly is. If it goes back to Lanphier again, we'll see a replica of what we just went through.
Look at the crowd. They're standing, buzzing. and everybody is apprehensive. I think we should also mention that this game has been brilliantly officiated by Ed Schmidt and John Duncan.
Yeah, it really has. They're the unsung heroes of it all. They really are.
Country Companies Insurance, John Deere, and DeKalb Pfizer Genetics are very happy to have you with us for this championship game. And don't forget the girls tournament next Saturday. We'll have title games in A and AA. What a show these young people, the high schools in Illinois, put on. Mount Carmel and Springfield Lanphier, nothing to choose. After 35 minutes, we have 3 more to play in second overtime.
Rather typical of this whole season. The polls didn't prove much. We had upsets galore along the tournament trail. Here we are in the second OT for the title.
Bob Nika, whose Lions won the title in '83, found it a little easier to get by the Central Lions, and here is a violation on the jump ball.
I caught Eddie Horton going up with the ball. Didn't wait till it reached the apex of the toss.
The violation gives the ball to Mount Carmel, and James Farr goes against Willie Greer head-to-head.
Well, let's see what happens at the other side offensively. Man-to-man defense.
I get the feeling they won't wait.
They're not.
Boyd blocked by Ed Horton.
But Ed Horton didn't wait either. He did what he does very well immediately.
That may be the biggest thing he's done for his team in the whole game. Greer fakes. Now Lanphier looks like they're more determined to put it up.
Some quick passing going on here, and they're right into the defense. Now they're pulling it out a bit, but they're still into it, looking for Eddie Horton inside.
Mount Carmel packed into a 2-3 zone, collapsing on Ed Horton.
He's bringing it back out again wisely, trying to thin out the defense, giving Eddie Horton some room to maneuver in there.
But McCants is not on Horton. Boyd is.
Boyd behind him. Callaway sinking to front him along with Smallwood. McCants over on the other side with 4 fouls. 2 minutes in the second overtime.
And only 1 timeout for Lanphier.
McGuire handling the ball a lot of the time here. A lot of pressure on him with Farr hawking him.
Farr plays the passing lanes really well.
Ed Horton missed.
There's a shot we didn't expect at that time.
And now Mount Carmel has the hammer. Farr blows by 2 men. And lost. The noise level continues to escalate. Lanphier will try it again. We're still at 44 all. Greer, skip pass, William Horton. They're giving him the shot from about 18 feet. He doesn't want it.
Tremendous emotional drain for these players. Their second game in a day, second overtime of a championship game.
If they're not tired now, wait till tomorrow. 1 minute to play in double overtime. Lanphier is trying to win it at the end.
Eddie Horton's doing a wise thing coming on out as he is. Giving a release to the passers at the top of the court. Front court.
What are the odds of a turnover? 40 seconds.
So long as Eddie Horton gives them this release, it gives them some relief from the pressure that they're feeling out there.
Mount Carmel stays zone with Farr out there trying to bother McGuire.
Shortly they'll be the final timeout. They'll be taking their final timeout shortly.
Maybe 15 seconds on the clock when they do it. Rahim holds the ball. There's 15. And no timeout.
No timeout.
Here they go.
There's the shot by Greer.
Greer missed.
McCants rebound.
Melvin McCants calls timeout, and Mount Carmel with 6 seconds has the ball.
They've got a full trip to take now with 6 seconds. The ball is going to go in the hands of Farr with the idea of simply exploding down the court. If not the shot, a foul.
I thought I heard Willie Greer say to Bob Nika, he said shoot, pointed at one of his teammates as if he was told to shoot that shot because clock might be running off.
I think you did. There's no question about it. Greer took a pretty good shot.
He did.
And McCants got a big rebound.
He did.
So the situation could this turn. But certainly Mount Carmel now, they're going to get that ball to Farr, and he's going to fly.
Yeah.
And they still have McCants in the game. Even though McCants has only scored 4 points in this game, he's still right there. Watch Ed Horton's big pivotal block as he just took charge.
Block early in the overtime. Rejecting that shot, and of course gave Lanphier the possession. And from that point on, they just squeezed the ball down to that 6-second mark.
Not that these players care, but McCants is now within 3 of the rebounding record for the tournament at 55. Horton is within 4.
Let's see who handles the ball out of bounds.
How do you defend this, Coach?
You put a big man on the guy throwing it in.
Well, there are all kinds of things that you can do. You can go into a prevent defense, which is going to eat up the clock in the backcourt as the ball is being traversed, or you're going to take your chances as they are now on a matchup, man-to-man basis in terms of the quickness situation. Okay, we see Callaway taking the ball out of bounds. It's going to go into the hands of Farr. Surprisingly, it doesn't.
There's a long pass intended for McCants, topped out of bounds by Horton. Mount Carmel has the ball.
Caught a break.
2 seconds, and they're under their own goal. They'll take another timeout.
Caught a break. Keep in mind, once again, what we look for when Lanphier had the ball with 1 second and the lob to Horton. Now we'll look forward to the same thing, only the advantage is to Mount Carmel because of the positioning of the ball out of bounds.
All right, now, even with Ed Horton, do they throw a pop-up pass, or they go out to Farr and have him take the long shot?
They'll look inside first to McCants and discover that it is packed in, and Farr can pop out of that pack to shoot that jumper from the corner.
The timeout situation, we're in double overtime in the tie, is this. Mount Carmel has 2. Lanphier has 1. Mount Carmel spent 2 of theirs, and there you see it on the screen. We've had an outrageous basketball game.
Looking back, I was surprised that Lanphier did not take their final timeout, somewhere within that final 30-second frame.
2 seconds. And now Lanphier has to prevent a shot at the buzzer by Mount Carmel. Maybe even have to watch somebody being picked on a foul.
Yeah, and as Ernie Banks would say, let's play 3.
The score has been 44 to 44.
All right, notice Farr. He may pop out of the pack. He'll go probably to his right, and McCants will dart to his left. There they go.
That happened. It goes to Boyd. South Boyd. Mount Carmel is the champion. Derek Boyd.
First state champion from the Chicago Catholic League, Mount Carmel.
And you see the anguish suffered by the second-place Lions. What a stunning, thrilling game.
Unbelievable basketball game.
Derek Boyd lifted high on the shoulders of his teammates. A sophomore, as we talked through the whole tournament. Youth shall be served, and Bob Nyka can only know the feeling because his sophomore, Ed Horton, was a winner in the same circumstance. In '83, Lanphier won it all, and this time the spotlight is on Mount Carmel. Ed Horton and Raheem.
Great character here.
Oh, that says a lot.
It sure does.
Amid this tremendous joy and the tears, it's just a spectacular sight.
And a lot of happiness in a big city as one Catholic school won the Class A title and another Catholic school won the AA title.
Providence St. Mel in A, and now Mount Carmel, the Caravan, come home champions in AA. In scoring quickly, James Farr with 30 points.